Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of Varsity Aces Live. My name is Darren Cooper, local columnist on NorthJersey.com. And tonight, we're going to go one-on-one with a very special guest, dear friend of mine, Lyndhurst football coach, Rich Tuero. Rich, how are you today?
How you doing, brother? How are you? Pleasure to be here.
I'm good. Thank you. I have to first tell our audience that Rich and I had been talking about doing this show for weeks. We'd hope to do a special Labor Day cookout with him and some members of his coaching staff. We had some bad news happening. We're really sad. Coach Castagnetti's father passed away. Rich, how's everybody in Lyndhurst doing? How is Coach Castagnetti doing?
I'll tell you what, man. Mr. Castagnetti was a huge part of this community. You know, everyone knew who he was. He said hello to us. He was at every game on the fence. I could tell you exactly where he would stand. We're hurting, but we're getting through it, living through the memories, and Joey's doing okay. You know, he's got a beautiful family behind him. He's got a beautiful support staff with this town. The people in this town always come together during times like these. And like I said before, I couldn't see us having a barbecue without Joey and the guys. But you know, I'm sure he's happy. We're just talking about it in general and just going from there. You know, my heart goes out to Joe and the family. We love him to death. That's my brother. You know, I see Joe more than I see my wife.
I sent condolences from NorthJersey.com and the Aces to everybody involved in the football program at Lyndhurst. It's really sad. I one of the reasons why I was looking forward to having a conversation with you is how much you pride yourself on building your staff and team as a family. So 100%. Where did that come from?
I came here from North Bergen, New Jersey when I was in third grade, and I didn't really know much of anything. I was a Cuban kid. My parents are straight from Cuba. We got here, and I didn't, I wasn't a football guy. My parents were all about baseball. And when I came to Lyndhurst, I started to play football. I played under Coach Vuno and Coach Castagnetti, and that was the biggest tradition, was family, and that's what I kind of learned what it was like to, hey, in the beginning you hear family and you're thinking of, mom, dad, whatever. But as you play the game of football, you really learn what family is all about and what it is. And the camaraderie, the tough times, getting up when you're knocked down, leaning on each other, depending on each other. That's really what it's always been driven. And I tried to keep my program the same way with that. We preach family. That's all we do. It's preach family in Lyndhurst. I always tell my kids, I love you. I'm here for you no matter what. Always, even when they graduate high school, and from there on, that's what it's all about.
But when did you have like the first epiphany? I think I want to be a coach.
Oh man, in high school, no doubt about it. Right, probably my junior year. We talk about Coach Castagnetti. He was my O-line coach, and he was so cool. And I loved the whole idea. His kids were born when I was in high school. So now looking back, it's crazy to think, but like I have tattoos on my legs. Joe was like my idol, and I wanted to be like Joe Castagnetti as a coach, and that's where I guess I realized in high school I wanted to be that way. Coach Vuno was big on me.
No. What about Shoeridge here? What about Shoeridge?
Yeah. Oh well, Shoe of course too, but. Shu and I didn't really. He didn't really talk to me in high school. Shu was all about the skill guys, love him to death. But Coach Shu was the skill guy. He took care of the quarterback, the running back, and receivers. Coach Woodle was the guy with the tough love, but Coach Cass was the guy that made me really want to be a coach. And that's where after I graduated high school, I had to wait a year to get to actually play college ball. I wasn't accepted right away, so I volunteered under Joe. Joe was the head coach here. Then I went for 4 years.
You were a 19-year-old volunteer coach? So you were 19 years old?
I was 8. Yeah, there's a picture. When I'm in the building, I'll send it to you. I'm a young boy, man. No beard, glasses, 18 years old, volunteer coach, just here, figuring it out. And then I went on to college, played college ball. And after that, that's when as soon as I graduated college, the way it worked was I kind of was like, all right, what am I going to do? I called Coach Castagnetti. I volunteered for him again, and while I was only there for a week, I got a call from Coach Gene Cola, Montclair State, my head coach there, and said, hey, there's a job in Clifton. You want to go coach? So my first year coaching was actually at Clifton.
Yeah. And then tell me about the route back home then. What was the route back to Lyndhurst like?
So I'm at Clifton for a year, which was, I mean, awesome. You know, I'm out of Lyndhurst. I never experienced anything like it. Ron
Who's
Anello, the head coach, such an
Ron?
awesome guy.
Wow.
Right. Ralph Sinkhu was an assistant coach. Ralph, that's how I became friends with Ralphie. Ralph Sinkhu was a linebackers and running backs coach. Took me under his wing, to believe it or not. Ralphie, well, you know, he took me. I was a young guy. He was awesome. You know, taught me the ins and outs, the little things of coaching, doing the right thing. And I'll be honest with you, I loved it. Like I was so happy at Clifton. I was like, all right, I'll never be at Lyndhurst. Castanetti ended up giving up the job, and you know Scott Rubinetti took the job. And in my head, I was like, I don't even know this guy. Like I'm never going to be back at Lyndhurst. Lo and behold, I got a phone call from him and asked me to come back, and I came back as an assistant, and the rest is history.
Well, the rest is history, and the Bears made a little bit of history last year. Remember, this is Varsity Aces Live. I'm Darren Cooper. This is Lyndhurst football coach Rich Tuero. We're talking one-on-one about football and life. And looking back on last year, man, just what's the first memory that pops into your mind? Just the joy? Just the joy and the fun?
Blessing, man. Blessing. The greatest experience I've ever been a part of when it comes to sports and coaching, and it was just unbelievable. I mean, every time I look back, I look at pictures. It was the best year of our lives. But 2 years really. We what a run we went on, and it took a lot of work and determination, and we had to grind through things to get there, and it took a couple bounces our way because let's be real, there was times where I was like, whoa. Pompton Lakes, I was pretty nervous. But we got through it, and thank God we got that state sectional title. It was a dream come true, Darren, honestly. And you were there for the down times and the good, and it was a dream come true, brother.
I'm curious, though. This question I enjoy asking coaches of small schools who experience success like this, and then it's really hard to maintain because your numbers change all the time. You just, you don't have the depth. You maybe don't have the strength of the feeder program. You're a smart guy, though, Rich. Like, do you look around and see, like, how do I keep us there? What steps do you have to take to keep Lyndhurst there?
100%. One of the things I said, I've been saying to the kids is our faces are changed. People change, faces change, but our expectations don't. Now, obviously, I got to be realistic, right? We lost 26 seniors, and it's going to take a lot of work.
That's huge.
Right. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot. We're going to need luck in some instances. Kids can't get hurt. God forbid, because we don't have that much depth. But I'll tell you this: these kids have been around success. They've been watching it. They've been working their tails off. I mean, especially last year, we had obviously, like I said, 26 seniors. Our scout team was consisted of seniors and kids that just want to get an opportunity to play. Yeah. So the goal is to build a culture, build a program. And as long as we keep, and I tell my staff this all the time, as long as we keep doing what we're doing and what we believe in and driving that program and driving the dedication, the rest will take care of itself. We're not always going to have the players, but as long as we have a team and the kids give us everything they got, that's all I can ask for. It's funny, the last day of practice that we had for summer session, I said, guys, listen, we may not be this loaded team with all these studs everywhere and, all these D1 athletes, but you know what? We're lucky, man. We got a bunch of great kids, a bunch of beautiful kids that are working their butts off, and that's the truth. It's awesome. So that's it. Just keeping the culture.
Do you hope that winning relates to more winning? Like it just kind of gets passed down, like the seniors you have on this year's team can kind of look out on the field and be like, we'll find a win, and like that becomes the spirit of that becomes the lifeblood of the program.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Look at the teams like Hasbrook Heights. Just expect to win. That's the model. We want to be like that, where we always say, well, that was the whole thing back then was, why not us? Why not us? Well, I think we're there. Let's stay there. We need to be a respectable program, and we're not going to win the state championship every year, but the goal is to be respected, and to be there, to be in the mix. And work our way back. I don't want to wait another 36 years for a state championship.
So if the teams, why not us this year? What's the theme this year for the Golden Bears?
People change, faces change, expectations don't. That's what we keep saying. Expectations don't. Let's get to work. No one feels bad for you.
what are the numbers like? How have your kids dealt with the pandemic and the adversity and all the protocols and all that stuff?
So numbers are awesome. We have 58 kids in the program. I have a nice freshman group, 18 kids, great group. I'm low on my senior, but heavy junior, sophomore team. Obviously lack a little bit in experience. Only 2 returning starters back because of all the seniors, obviously. But
I want to go back and reiterate the point about how unusual it is to have such a large senior class in a Group 2 school.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I'm leaning on that with our current freshmen. Like, hey, there's 18 of you. Stick together all the way through. Look what happens.
Yeah.
Because it's cool. I have a picture of our kids when they were in 6th grade, our seniors from last year. And there was like 15 of them that were on that little, 6th grade team all the way up to graduating as seniors last year. It's really cool stuff. But regarding the pandemic and stuff, there, it's been great. We've had, numbers are great. I got kids working every day. We're doing all the protocols, masked up, socially distanced, following all the rules the NJSIAA gave us. It's been great.
All right. Are we going to have a season?
I think so, man. Staying positive. I feel good.
We've asked almost every guest we've had on this show that question. And I know my mood has changed. I mean, I can remember thinking in kind of mid-April and, hey, we still might get a little bit of spring out, and it just didn't happen. It didn't just happen. And we went through the summer and a little leery about the fall. But, it seems, I had a friend of mine share, they really think the NJSIA has done a reasonably good job of keeping everybody informed, sticking with the plan. The plan has always been, we're going to try to play. We're going to try to play.
Absolutely, man. I can't say enough good things about Conley McGuire. And speaking, bias to football, John Jacob and our NJFCA, I mean, they've been aces communicating with us. I'll be real with you, Darren. I thought there was no shot we were playing this year. I mean,
really?
Oh man, I was Debbie Downer. I was feeling no good. Like everything, all the reports coming out. I'm like, seeing every school. This school shuts down. This school shuts. I'm talking about all over the country. I was feeling down until the NJFCA and NJSIAA came out with all this stuff, and they really, they hit the mark, man. They did a great job, and I'm so proud to be part of those 2 organizations.
But now we still do have some uncertainty, though, right now, right?
Sure.
Well, let me ask this question that's bothered me. How much time, like, if they told you a couple weeks from now, we're changing your first game, you're not playing Rutherford, you're playing Manchester. How much time does a football coach really need? I mean, to make that kind of turnaround? Because do we worry too much about the schedule and I got to know who we're playing.
It's been driving me crazy, man. But I'm like, there's not enough time. There's never enough time to schedule, to prepare for a game. Even with the 2 weeks, I'm kind of like, but here, let's be realistic. In season, you only get a week to prepare, right? So it is what it is. Other than the first game, you get all those weeks to prepare. In season, you usually get 5-6 days to get it ready. Really not like 3 or 4. Considering you put a plan together, you practice it, and you go from there.
What's the best thing about being a football coach?
Watching these kids become men, watching them be successful. I mean, look at Pete Guerrero, man. Look at that. Look at Peter Partilla. Ends up at Rutgers doing his thing. And then on the flip, like so many kids, like, I got a kid like Danny Kisak, who's a coach for me now. Danny Kisak was a player, and I watched that kid go through college and grow up. Kids like Matt DeMarco, Michael Cooper, Michael Cooper just graduated from Del Val. There's nothing better than watching these kids grow and become men and, reaching out later and I love you, coach. How are you? Coming to visit. That's the best part of it all, man. At the end of the day, sure, I want to win, but I care about my kids, man. I love my kids. I love these guys. They kill themselves for me, and I'll do anything for all of them. All
right. So I know you know the answer to this question, but who's the last guy from Lyndhurst to sign an NFL contract?
Coach Vuno. So Peter Guerrero is the 3rd one ever to do it. Tommy Longo, Coach Chizzy Vuno, and now Pete Guerrero.
That's just got to be almost like surreal, right? To know that, like, oh my God, he's just down the road. He's in Forum Park. You know what I mean? He's just down the road. My guys.
I got a picture. I had a reporter send me a picture today. It was Pete Guerrero with Le'Veon Bell and Frank Gore doing drills. I was like, this is real life, like unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It's just so cool. And listen, he's humble, man. He's there working. He knows, he knows nothing's given to him. Nothing's easy. He's hoping to make the 53. If not, he's hoping to make the practice squad. And he knows, he's realistic about it. But I can't be prouder of the kid. Like he was the ultimate underdog in every situation all the way through. And he's on the Jets right now, man. Like what? Yeah.
So in other words, you're a big Jets fan. Big Jets fan.
Oh yeah, I'm the biggest Jet fan with a giant tattoo in the world.
All right, I asked you the best thing about what's the hard thing about being a football coach in New Jersey?
The hardest thing about being a football coach for me, I would say, is blocking out the noise. Like Shiano said,
noise like guys like me, noise or just noise
in general. No, I know you guys have a job to do. There's a difference there. What's the phrase Shiano said? Everyone thinks they could coach football and grill. It is what it is. That's the biggest thing. It's just blocking out the nonsense. There's always going to be critics, and no matter what you do. And at the end of the day, I always say this: I sleep well at night knowing that at the end of the day, I'm doing everything I can for these kids to gain a better, have the best position to be successful in life. And that's the bottom line. So that probably is the hardest part.
Do you think football is in trouble, Rich?
I think it's under attack. I don't think it's in trouble. I think that we have
great answer. Do you then feel like not enough attention is paid to the real? I tell people this all the time. Football is not what you think it is anymore. If you watch it now, and if you go to a football practice, which I'm blessed to get to do, and you of course, it's just different. I mean, it's different from when you played, right? I mean, it's just different.
I feel like when I played football, it was better to be feared than loved, right?
Okay.
Now it's better to be my philosophy is better to be loved than feared. I don't want to teach guys to be scared of me or to threaten me. I mean, to threaten them or whatever else to get. I'm trying to always teach the why. But that's the thing, man. Football to me is the most beautiful sport in the world. You're bringing every culture, people from all over, kids that never played before, kids that don't know anything about it, that just come together and just figure it out. It's football is so many more things than bringing the ball into the end zone and scoring a touchdown. So many more things. The locker room. I mean, there's just so many variables that go into it. Anyone, if it was actually under attack and we had to show it, I think that the football community is so strong that we'd be okay in the end.
So, what do you think is the biggest misconception then? What do you think people worry about needlessly?
The fear injuries, injury. I mean, I think the fear of injury is the worst thing because you can get injured doing anything. You can get injured. How many people Dad? I mean, we're older. How many guys? Oh, I threw out my back. What'd you do? I bent over to pick something. I mean, anything can happen at any time. You fall off a bike. You fall down the stair. Who knows? You can get injured doing any sport. Let's be real, no matter what it is, or doing anything. So going into something with fear, I mean, sure, you have more of a chance of it, but it's football, baby. I mean, it is what it is. Runners, they say, have the worst injuries from to their body from running so much, and you're not even making any contact. But it's part of life.
Did you ever get hurt, Rich? Did you ever get hurt playing?
No. What do you mean by hurt? Like where I missed a game or practice?
Get injured. I mean, did you get injured? Yeah. Did you get?
No. I hit my shin once and I cracked but I didn't miss anything. So I wouldn't say I missed like a couple plays and whatever. But no, I never. Thank God, I've never actually been hurt or injured.
Well, how much contact do you have in practice? How much contact do you have?
Oh, well, that's the other thing. So I mean, yeah. Let's be real. Not much at all. In the summer when we have a normal camp, we'll have our hit days and our tackling and all that. But once we're in season, we got to keep kids healthy. I don't have depth, so it's more thud than anything else in practice. Just pop and stop. Not taking guys to the ground. None of that.
You mentioned your Cuban heritage, which is something I always wanted to talk to you about. Did mom and dad know anything about football? American football?
No way, man. No way. My dad is baseball, Yankees through and through. Wanted me to be a baseball player. I played baseball in high school, but never against football. But I think my dad was hoping I was a baseball star. But ended up my brother was a baseball guy. He won a state championship for Lyndhurst. I just fell in love with football. I'm telling you, man. I when we first moved here, I started playing a little bit, and I just fell in love with the game. I just loved it. And then when I found out I was pretty good at it, I ended up, going to play college ball, and here I am. And it's crazy because you don't really hear Cuban football players.
Not many, no. Here he is. Here I am. You're watching Varsity Aces Live. I'm Darren Cooper. That's Lyndhurst football coach Rich Tuero coming off an NJIC championship. Wrap up with him in just a couple more minutes. Couple more questions. Who else? Who interests you in the NJIC? Who's up to take the title away from the Golden Bears?
Waldwick is going to be good. I think Waldwick's going to be a good team, and they have a lot of revenge that they want to get through. I'm not really sure about other teams. Pompton Lakes is going to be good. I'll tell you that. I'm glad they're not on our schedule because I know Scott's got some revenge for me. They're definitely going to be a good team, man. They returned a lot, and they gave us a run for our money last year, man. And tough kids, So I would say one of those two teams are going to be in the mix. Not counting out Lyndhurst, though, baby.
I'm counting out Lyndhurst. No. I'm all in on Warriors, Walwick, Midland Park for sure.
Okay, all right.
Although Pompton Lake's the word that they get to.
Oh no, he's definitely going to be good, man. He got a lot of returns, and those kids were tough players.
We don't give enough credit to the league format and how simple and how perfect it is, right? 100%. I mean, we all that, but the way the NJIC has it structured with the play, it's like college football, and every game counts, man. Every game counts.
No doubt, man. No doubt, and that's a big testament to Charlie Voorhees. He helped push that, get to that point. It was kind of shot down in the beginning because I don't think we understood it as coaches. Yeah. And then he called another meeting back a couple of years ago, and it ended up being one of the best things ever. It's such a good no lie there. The NJAC college football, I believe, is using the same model for their spring football plan. I believe they're going to NJAC North, NJAC South, and they're going to play an NJAC champion in their spring football. Pretty sure that's what they have, which is pretty cool.
I had not heard that. Breaking news here on Varsity Aces Live. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I heard that. That's speculation. Speculation. I heard
that. The other thing, though, it leads to some rivalries and just good old clean old backyard fun, right?
Sure.
There are games of but I'll play. Well, let me ask you this question. Now, the LSU shirt, of course, for my loyal viewers, is not a Dodge. I grew up in Louisiana. And we play down to a state champion. Yeah. And there's no even question why we don't play to a state champion. We were just talking before the show started about changing the calendar and the football calendar. Because football, we need to treat football differently because football is different. Football is different. So, but why don't we play to a state championship? Why was there no offense, but Verona beat you? Why was there no Verona, 2-5? Why?
Oh no! Listen, no offense taken at all, Darren. I agree 100% because, here's the deal. I'm glad you brought that up. So the reality is that, why don't we play to a state champion? Because everyone knew that bowl game or whatever you want to call it was like, all right, we're stopping there. What else? So, I spend, and I'm not, by no means am I making excuses. We lost that game. All good. Sure. But we spent all year talking about winning the state sectional title, winning that trophy, winning blah, blah, blah. So we get there, we win that state sectional title, and then, hey, we got another game, though, guys. You don't have, it's a bowl game. You're going to win. There's a trophy, but it's not really another state championship. Why don't we play to a state champion? I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100% because I didn't think that game, sure, we played it and I wanted to win and whatever else happened, but I think we should play down to a state champion. Why not move it back and add in a week or two? Why not? Or a week. It's a week, right?
The other thing that gets me about we have scrimmages coming up. And since we don't play a lot of games in New Jersey, a lot of coaches treat the scrimmages like games. And I almost feel like, well, let's just call them games for crying out loud. Let's almost designate 1 week as you get one scrimmage. Because I do understand, too, it'd be great for Lyndhurst and you to get one, let me see the kids in like a preseason game. Let me give me one look. Give me one look before you start. But teams that play in normal years, teams would play multiple scrimmages. And at some point, I'm like, we're wasting our time. We should be playing real games. I mean, let's make this count. Let's make this
I
count.
agree. I did less last year than ever. You know, I did
Really?
my one great game scrimmage and a quad scrimmage, and that's it. We, you know, usually we do like 3 scrimmages and or two, like 2 and like a little practice / scrimmage. But yeah, I did less last year than ever, and I'm okay because the truth is that, like you said, we're gonna. God forbid a kid gets hurt in a game scrimmage. I mean, for any team.
Yeah.
For what? You know why?
All right. Last thing. What are the girls up to tonight? Say hello.
The girls are watching right now. My girls, Sophia, Camilla, Corianne, the love of my life. Nobody better, man. The best fans in the world. There's nobody better than those 3 right there.
Hey, Rich, I'm so glad we finally got to do this. I'm sorry we didn't get to do our cookout and fun stuff, but as always, a pleasure talking to you. Congratulations on all the success you've had. Be safe going forward, and I'll catch up to you in a week or so.
I appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much.
All right, that's Lyndhurst football coach Rich Tuero joining me tonight here on Varsity Aces Live. Before we go, the LSU shirt really is an homage. I still got friends in Louisiana who don't have power from that hurricane. Can you believe that? It's really sad. So just say a prayer if you got one. That'll wrap things up here on Varsity Aces Live. I'm Darren Cooper. Remember, let the players play, the coaches coach, and the officials officiate. Let the Varsity Aces tell you what you need to know. Good night, everybody.